Hi, this is Cheryl with the Cut at Home Design Team. Today I have some beautiful Marianne dies to share with you. I just love these dies. I think they're so pretty. They have a wonderful amount of detail. These tags do. They're just gorgeous. And I love the fun rolled flowers as well. Let me show you a couple of other tags that I created using the same or similar die sets. This is the same tag as you saw before, a little bit different flower. And this is a different but similar tag created with the same flower that you saw on the card. So lots and lots of choices with these. Let me just show you the dies that I'm using here. This is a Marianne Designs Creatables die. This is called Tiny's Vintage Labels. The similar die, the one that's just a little bit taller, is called Tiny's Nostalgic Labels. Both of them follow a similar pattern where you have the outer die that will cut the piece that you saw either in the tag or on the card itself, just a nice large tag area. There's a second die that you can use in conjunction with that tag die to create a frame, or you can just use this separately and cut out a shape for the inside of that tag that you've created. And then finally there's a smaller tag with this set. So very easy peasy. They're both beautifully detailed dies and they cut just wonderfully. I had absolutely no problem whatsoever with them. This is the Rose Buds and Leaves die, and similar to it is the Flower Buds and Leaves die. This one just a straight circle, this one a little bumpy. We'll look in a minute at the differences in the flowers. As far as creating them, no real difference. Both are very easy to do. And then finally, the sentiment I used, Just For You, is from this set, Just For You and Thanks. Again, just a fun die set. So let's go back and look at the tags for a minute. Again, to create the tag, I cut out the tag shape here using that basic die that I showed you. I did use embossing, whatever your machine calls for to emboss. I did that because I wanted to get the additional raised detail that makes these just so pretty. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous die. Why not take advantage of everything it has to offer? I also used that middle piece that I showed you to cut a piece of vellum. You can kind of see it there, just to lay over top of my tag. I think it adds a little bit of femininity or elegance or something like that to the tag itself, and it's a good base for me to create from. And then I created the little flowers and added the Just For You sentiment. So super, super easy. Now the difference between these two tags obviously is I used the two different tag dies. You can see the Nostalgic Labels is just a little bit taller than the Vintage Labels is. If I stack them together, you've got just about a ½ inch on top that sticks out with the Nostalgic Labels. But very similar in size, even though they kind of look like they're very, very different. Again, on this one, I used the Rose Bud dies. On this one, I used the Flower Bud dies. So again, similar process for creating them, different look and different result. Let me show you how to do the flowers. These are the rose buds cut out. So there's the small one and the large one. Either way, you know, you're not dealing with a flower that's very big at all. Here they are on the tag. I have my way of creating flowers and I want to show you that today. We'll use the smaller one just so I can show you. I'm using a quilling tool today. Most people find this easiest. So you're just going to put the very end, and we're going to roll from this end in, the very end of that into your slot. You don't want it to extend out because I don't want a crease in there. And I'm just going to roll, roll, roll until I get to the center. This is something that you'll gain some expertise with. The more you do it, the more comfortable, the faster you are at rolling. It doesn't have to be wound tight, tight, tight. It just needs to be wound around here. You're coaxing the paper to do the thing that you want it to do. Once you get to the center, you're going to pull it off your quilling tool. Then I'm going to let it go and relax a whole lot. It needs to relax quite a bit. At the very center of the flower where I have that circle, I'm just going to place a little bit of quick dry glue there. Actually, I'm going to place a lot of quick dry glue. It's kind of hard sometimes to catch the parts that need to be glued, so I tend to over glue just a little bit. But now I'm ready to flip my flower over and begin forming it for real. I've got the curves are all in here. So I'm just going to unwind it to the point that I want it to be, and I'm going to hold it in place until it dries. That's all I need to do. I know it's hard for you to see with my fingers in the way, but all I've done is sort of relax that tight roll that I made to the point that I want it, and I'm holding my pieces together until that glue sets up a little bit. Sometimes it's easier to just set it on a flat surface. You can see how it wants to spring out on me again already. I'm just going to push it back into place and hold it for a little longer so that it stays the way that I want it to. Now here's one that I created earlier. I held this down until it dried. You can see it didn't quite hold for me, so the proper thing to do would be to re-glue it just here at the base. But I don't want to wait for the glue to dry because I want to show you the next step. So we'll just move on. If you're creating this at home, make sure that everything's adhered here. You just want all of those pieces to hold together. But then you'll place it on a flat surface. You're going to get your spritzer bottle, and you're going to spritz it 3 or 4 times with water to make it wet, and then you're going to take a clear acrylic block, place it on top of it, and you're going to press straight down and smush it. What you end up with is a smushed looking flower, but it actually ends up with kind of a nice result. I can see my paper is bleeding a little bit here, so you want to reach for my paper towel. This is a good time, if you don't like the placement of the petals, to rearrange them in a way that you like. I do have open centers on these flowers, and that's okay. My open centers I'm going to go ahead and fill with glitter or prills or something like that, so it's really not an issue. So that's it. It's that easy. You roll it up, you glue it. Make sure you wait until that glue is dry. If you do it while the glue is wet, then you're going to have problems with your flower springing apart. So let that glue dry firmly. Go find something else to do. Then smash it down. Once again, you're going to have to let the glue dry. Let the water dry out this time. Make sure it gets very dry. Check your flower. If you see that it's falling apart again, you might want to go and hit it with a little glue. So I would go back and put some more glue there to hold it together. Check these every once in a while. Sometimes I find even when you wet them and smash them down, they'll sort of spring back to life on you, but it's very easy to put them back into place. But by using this smashed down flower, now it's much easier for me to mail. My flower isn't standing up so tall and that sort of thing. As you can see on this one, I'm going to bring it closer. I filled my centers with a complementary color, prills. You could use a contrasting color as well. Here's the flower buds. Again, these are just a little bit harder to see because they're so dark, but the same thing. I rolled them up the exact same way as you saw me do with the roses. I let them dry, and then I smushed them. And when they were dry, again, I added some glue, added the prills, and I'm good to go. Beautiful, beautiful flowers. In both cases, pretty easy peasy tags. I just added the Just For You sentiment, which I love. I added a few clear sequins. I love the effect of those. And I'm good to go. I have beautiful, beautiful gift tags for my gifts. Again, remember that these tags are absolutely beautiful as a setup for a card too. This is the vintage labels. And I love the way that this turns out and sets up that card just beautifully. So whatever you choose to do with the dies, they're going to work very well for you. Again, the beautiful level of detail in Marianne die all comes out. It's there for you. They're super simple to work with. I know you'll enjoy them. Take a look at Marianne next time you're on the Cut at Home site. Thanks for watching. Bye.